This week, we're diving into Thursday's amazing state of play. Join us as we discuss all the big reveals, the highlights, and discuss the overall future of PlayStation on this week's HGO Podcast. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO Podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, is my good friend Hunter. Hey, Hunter, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
You know, it's the return of the king, baby. Not only great state of play, dude. Look what it is, guys. Look what's come back, baby. We've got rid of Overwatch 2. It died. We're back. I've got the shirt on. I'm addicted. We're back. I'm not washing my hair. We're back, baby. It's 2016 all over again. Into the mines. It's good stuff.
Oh man, when people were set, because I've been seeing since this year started nostalgia for 2016. I didn't think that I was gonna witness it firsthand now too.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Because every time I've been seeing it on the internet, I've been like, "What do you mean you're nostalgic for 2016? That's when the world started falling apart."
For you, again, always an America-centric point of view, mate. Like, get in the bin. I mean, it was for us as well. I think the Brexit vote was also in 2016, so I think we were also cooked there. But I don't know, mate. It's just it's a little bit of joy in my life to have it back, just in a weird way, because it's like a little bit of the soul. I feel like, the whole 2 era of that game was like, it was that corporate era. It was very kind of manufactured and very forced. And them just kind of admitting that it was a waste of time and going back and just going back to pure fun. It's like a little bit of Magic Blizzard has come back, I'm sure Jason Schreier is going to write another book in 5 years and tell me that I'm wrong, but for now, pretty good. I enjoy playing as the cat and latching onto people and dragging them away. It's a lot of fun.
The cat is very funny. I will give you that.
Dude, when you hover over the cat in the lobby, somewhat like there's a laser pointer on the screen and she's just trying to grab the laser pointer as like her idle animation, and it's very cute. I also love the fact that they haven't even tried with any lore. It's a cat. It's a cat. One of the Brigitte just chucked it on a jetpack, and there you go. What else do you want? What else do you want? That's all you need. But no, been having a lot of fun with that this week. But it wasn't the only fun to be had, okay? Because not only is Overwatch in a bit of a golden era, Hunter, it seems PlayStation has finally learned how to do a digital press event. Round of applause for Sony, guys. They finally figured it out. As Nintendo's Nintendo loses the mark, it's like Sony's picked it up a little bit. So fair play to them. This was a pretty good state of play that I had to watch in hindsight because I was out, which was the most annoying part. I'm like, the best one of these shows in like a couple of years, and I didn't get to experience it properly. What am I doing? Why am I watching all these other ones? Why am I watching that Nintendo Partner Showcase where I'm just banging my head on the table going, none of this matters, Hunter? Why?
Dude, I think if Nintendo had these partner showcases at an hour where I wasn't at work, I probably wouldn't watch those ones because I'm not wasting time that I'm not being paid for to watch that.
Dude, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion, but I'm gonna shoot my shot here, for better or worse. I don't think Nintendo have had a really good direct since like a really good direct, like, one of those game changers since like 23. Like, it's been a while, right?
It's been
even
a
the Switch
while.
1, even the Switch 2 reveal, there was like some good, like in the proper one. It was like, yeah, you got Mario Kart World, you got some Donkey Kong Bonanza, but it was still a bit like of a rocky road, like, Dragon Drive, Welcome Tour.
That's funny, and like if you take that coupled with the one from like 2 days prior, if you were to take like the best parts of both of those and put them together, it's a pretty good showcase. But also, if you take the worst parts of both of those and put them together, it's diabolical.
Yeah, dude, it's that's one thing I gotta respect Sony. We'll get to it a little bit, but they knew that the Horizon multiplayer game was gonna cause a bit of a mess. People weren't gonna be happy about it. It was gonna be a bit of a polarizing game. I respect them for announcing that a week before, so it was out of the show, so they could just kind of leave the vibes and let them speak for themselves. And I think it kind of worked pretty well for them.
Also, I think if you spent 10 minutes talking at me about any game almost, I would tell you to shut up and move on.
Show was long enough. The show was jam packed, man, and we're going to dive into
Yeah.
it. Originally, we weren't even planning on this being the topic of the show, but it was that much of a big deal that we feel like we have to. We're going to be late, but hey, if you want to hear our opinions on all these things, are you kidding me? You're telling me you don't want to hear Hunter's opinions on a new Castlevania? Like, what are you doing? Of course you do. Stick around.
I
We're going to
did
be
this.
discussing them all. Yeah, you did this. You know what you did. Um, hey, all I know from this, Hunter, is our wishing well was working this year. I predict Spyro 4 in our near future. I'm predicting it. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Anyway, we're going to talk about everything state of play, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for this ordeal, this event. It's going to be a good one. Promise you that. But yeah, welcome on in, guys. A bit of housekeeping for you. Obviously, we're still in a bit of a drought in terms of video games. They're coming, but not just yet. So as you wait for more reviews coming in the near future, be sure to check out all the articles on the website, hotgamesonly.com. I think Kyle's got a new one coming out, I believe, this week. I'm not 100% on that. I think it might be this week.
I think it would have already been out by...
Is it? Oh, was it this weekend?
Yeah.
It's the weekend prior, isn't it? It'll be Sunday, won't it? Yeah. So it should be out now on the website, so go check that out. And as always, thank you for supporting the show. If you are new here, hey, we're really close to 600 subscribers on YouTube. Could you hit that subscribe button? That'd be fantastic if we can hit that before March. That'd be brilliant. And if you're on podcast services, a follow, a 5-star rating, anything would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, we appreciate you a lot. I'm not going to, waste anyone's time any more than we usually do, Hunter. We're just going to dive straight into it. We are not going to do timestamps for every single game because there's just that much involved. But I will give you a hint. If you are an audio listener or if you're on video and you're wondering, oh, I don't know what, I only really care about 2-3 things, don't you worry. We've got you covered. We're doing it in running order. So if you know whereabouts in the state of play it was, skip around a bit. If you want to skip over the Resident Evil and Pragmata section, it's together. Don't worry. You can skip over it. Plenty of stuff to go ahead. Hunter, why don't you kick us off? What is first on our list of wonderful games?
Oh, man. This is a good first game to show, too. Kena, the Scars of Cosmora.
Yes.
Or however you're supposed to say it. Kena 2 is not something that I really think I thought to ask for. I think the notion of, oh, what are they up to, has popped up in my head a couple of times in the past year or so, but I don't think I was necessarily conceptualizing Ember Lab's next game as a Kena sequel, but I am here for it. It looks sick.
I'm not going to lie to you. It was one of those games where it's like, I knew that people liked it enough, and I thought that, it was pretty decent. It was always one of those games that I was like, I should get around to playing this eventually. And now that the sequel's been announced, I am like, okay, I do need to get around to playing this eventually. I've missed like 6 opportunities to play it for free on PS Plus, but fingers crossed it'll come back again probably one more time because PlayStation Studios is actually helping support this title, which is a nice little bonus. But just watching this to me, Hunter, obviously timeline's extended from the kind of PS2, PS3 era. This feels like classic. First game was pretty good, but needed a lot of improvement. Let's give it another go. Let's give another crack at it. Because it just looks like they turned everything up to 11. The animation in this game, the first game was already pretty impressive. This, though, is like, those facial animations, I'm like, oh my god, those are incredible. What a beautiful looking game. And I really hope that it continues into the gameplay. Oh, there's the gameplay, and it looks just as impressive. And these open vistas are incredible in comparison to the first game, which was a very linear, very kind of, not claustrophobic per se, but extremely kind of straight line level design. It was,
Yeah, it was very kind of like, sends you off in a direction,
close
loops
quarters,
back around,
yeah,
kind of deal.
So yeah, this I like that. This was a good start to the show, and it gave me that little bit of hope because it's not something that I was necessarily asking for, but it was something where I'm like, "Ooh, that's a good pick to start a show off with." I like that.
It,
I think
yeah,
it's pretty
like
cool.
I was expecting it to start with. I was like, oh, I'll probably start with something that's safe, but not necessarily the most exciting thing, like with
Yeah.
another Saros trailer, which we get later. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but
But no,
no, this is a good one.
I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, Kenna is now a game that I need to play at some point this year so I can catch up and get ready for the sequel later this year on PS5 and PC. Like we said, made by Ember Lab with the support of PlayStation Studios this time, which is nice. Um, it's cool to see Sony putting some support onto games, a bit more second party stuff. Really, it's
Yeah,
we haven't seen much of that this generation as much, and the little bits and pieces that they have done, like marketing, hasn't really worked so well. Looking at you, Final Fantasy, it hasn't been
yeah.
the greatest of partnerships
Or it's been
recently.
like situations where it feels like the relationship kind of works, where Sony's the one being helped out more, like Death Stranding last year. I feel like any association with Kojima and them there
Mm,
was more for Sony's benefit.
we'll get to that in very very
Yeah.
soon. What was next?
Next, there was something about Ghost of Yotei Legends, giving you the
Yeah,
lowdown on that, the follow
Ghost of
up to
Yotei Legends is the co-op mode, isn't it? And it's coming
yeah,
the 10th of March, which is really soon. So that's cool.
yeah,
I've heard great things about Ghost of Yotei Legends. People seem to be really into it. If you're into a co-op kind of, a co-op kind of combat game, then it seems like a really fun thing. It's not really my jam. I'm not, we're not the biggest Ghost of Tsushima or Yotei fans here. I liked Ghost of
yeah,
Yotei enough, not enough to dive back in for a co-op mode, but
yeah, definitely not. But you know, the usage of the main villains again is like mythical monsters this time is
mhm.
a decent shout.
Yeah. Um, Again, it's turning those kind of myths and those kind of folk tales into these really cool cooperative set pieces, which I think is really neat. So yeah, fair play to them, and good job on getting it out as quickly as you have, because that's a really
Yeah,
quick
that's
turnaround.
imminent.
Yeah. Uh, Next up,
Next up, we got
Return
Death
of Kojima.
Stranding coming to the PC. So
Pretty quick turnaround again. It's less than a year.
yeah,
Which I think this game kind of needs. Death Stranding, not the biggest seller on consoles, but it was huge on PC. So many people loved Death Stranding on PC. Like, I have so many friends who played Death Stranding on Steam when it came out. So I think it's really cool that they've, again, I think what's really cool about this modern era that we're in of, exclusives being more of a timed thing is you can look at something like Death Stranding and very clearly go, the PC community really wants this game, right? Let's
yeah,
not wait 2 or 3 years. Let's just get it out. And I think that's cool. And I'm happy that it's coming so soon. Um,
showed a
yeah,
lot in
like
that trailer for
spoilers.
people
Like,
who
did
didn't
they?
play
Yeah,
it.
yeah. My
Like,
goodness,
I was like, "Oh, come on now. Some people might not have played it yet.
it's a
Stop it."
100-hour game, Kojima. Like, my goodness. Like, if someone just got that for Christmas or whatever, they may still be trucking along. So yeah, fair play. Um, But never trust a Japanese game developer to not spoil their own video game in every trailer that they
That's,
release. We'll
that's
talk more
very
about that
true.
later.
Yeah.
Next up, it's the first kind of miss of the show. Very few misses, but there are a
Yeah.
few.
For Loop, which is that game, we saw this at the Game Awards, was its first showing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
being
Bad
headed up
Robot.
by yeah, which has one of the key creatives from like Left 4 Dead or whatever
It's the yeah,
in charge.
it's the I don't know if it's the game designer of Left 4 Dead, is it? It's something like that. Somewhat big name from Left 4 Dead. J.J. Abrams is Bad Robot working together with PlayStation in a collaboration that no one asked for. Um,
Yeah.
I think the main problem with 4 Loop is it's a bit like Back for Blood, where it's like, okay, I understand it. Left 4 Dead was this kind of magical game at the time where it worked and it was great and it was the right game at the right time, which,
Yeah.
let's be honest, that run in the 2000s for Valve, my God, you could not have more of a generational run than like Half-Life 2, TF2, Portal, Left 4 Dead, Portal 2, Left 4 Dead 2. You cannot, like, that is an incredible run of video games to
Yeah.
have, right? And it's
So
like
good that
every
they
time
just
they try
stopped
and
after that.
yeah. One day, I'm hoping Valve will one day return to making video games until we can dream. Deadlock's apparently fantastic. If I had free time, I would give it a shot because it's apparently incredible. And I fully believe it. Are you kidding me? The people that made TF2 making a hero shooter MOBA, like, of course that's going to be fantastic. Of course it is. But unfortunately, I do not have a second, like, full-time job allocation in my life until I already spent way too much time on this podcast. But yeah, it does nothing for me, this For Loop. It doesn't
No.
have that source. It doesn't have that kind of, there's nothing. It feels like, and I hate doing this because, especially with stuff like, we could talk about High God, we could talk about there's been a couple this week where it's like devs being 2XKO, right? Where it's just like games kind of not having the greatest launch and then just pulling 90% of support out of it. And I don't like to look at games and go, oh, that's the next one. But I'm looking at For Loop and it's kind of giving me that there's no real hook where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why you're different. Because it's like, it's another roguelite and it's another co-op shooter. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, where's the hook? Where is the hook for this? You haven't shown me the hook.
Just kind of looking at it there for the little bit that they showed it, I'm like, this feels like an extra game. Like, not even so, like the same slot and the same kind of show, but from 10 years ago.
Yeah, totally. It's an interesting one. Again, it's anyone's guess. Maybe it comes out and it's a huge success and we're all shocked, but we'll see. Didn't do anything for me though. Just like this next game. It's Capcom.
Yeah, next up, the Capcom checklist. We got another Pragmata trailer. It's hilarious that they're insisting on showing this just as much as Resident Evil now that they know when it's coming out. Like, this game was crickets for years, and now it's every time they have the opportunity to show something to you, it's this one.
It does nothing for me, like, genuinely, and it's like, we were having this discussion because, you and Kyle were watching it live. I unfortunately wasn't available, so I was like catching up. I was watching through it. I basically, on the Thursday night, I got in late and I was like, I need to be up early the next day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this and just skip and go, okay, there's a Pragmata trailer, there's a Resident Evil, just so I got the beats so I didn't see it on Twitter, and then I could just kind of go to sleep, watch it properly the next day. And I just saw Pragmata and I'm like, skip. Like, it's just like, this game, it's like, I understand Resident Evil having a million trailers because as much as it annoys the living daylights out of us,
Resident Evil,
in terms of like tracking, it is the second most anticipated game in terms of sales and in terms of wish lists behind GTA 6 this year. It makes sense that Capcom is going all in on the marketing for this game. It just makes it a bit annoying for the hardcore fans who are seeing it all over the place every week at this point,
Yeah.
But yeah, this Pragmata trailer, it did nothing for me. It continues, this game continues to seem to be a third-person shooter with extra steps. And like I said to you, was it last week when we talked about the partner direct, where I was like, I'm kind of over dad games. I'm kind of over them. I don't know. AI child is no different from God child in God of War, or regular child in Ellie in The Last of Us, and it's like, I've been there, I've done that, I've had the companion, and this one just seems to make me do a stupid mini game every time I have to shoot a weird non-Dead Space robot. Is it doing anything for you?
It's one of those things where it's not like, I don't think I'll pick it up right away, but I'm more interested in this one just because I do like that they, are trying something else. And this
Yeah,
one,
I don't want to.
unlike Exoprimal, it does not offend me because of what it's trying to do.
I don't want to be too harsh on it because I don't want to. We're in this point. We'll get to it near the end of the state of play. We're in such a period of remakes and sequels and just very risk averse industry at the moment. So I don't want to look at a new IP and go, "Ooh, don't you do that? Where's my Resident Evil Revelations 3 or whatever?" Like
Yeah.
whatever other little spin-off or whatever you could be making. I'm happy that they are doing something different. And I'm happy, there was a time just a couple of years ago where we thought Pragmata was just dead. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't working. It was dead. So I'm happy it's coming out, but also yeah, maybe this is just something where maybe it gets incredible reviews and it's something that I go, "Oh, I was a fool. I need to, properly give it a
I
shake."
think
But
I think there will be people who like it when it comes out. I don't think there will be a great many people who like it, but I think this will be one where, in like 5 years' time, people are gonna mutter about it. It'll be one of those cult hits, I think.
I think it'll be in the same way that we jokingly, we talk about stuff like Scarlet Nexus, where I'm like, I don't think anybody other than us and like 6 other people reference Scarlet Nexus as frequently as
Yeah.
we do. But some of us remember, and I feel like and Scarlet
The
Nexus did
real
all
ones
right.
remember.
It did all
Yeah.
right, and wasn't that also a Capcom game?
That was Namco Bandai.
Namco, yeah, it's Namco. But yeah, so fair play. As for Requiem, it's another Requiem trailer. They are starting to get to that point where they are showing a little bit too much now. I'm like, calm down. You're getting past the
Yeah.
hospital scene now. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Um, why are you showing that? Did you watch the trailer fully, or did you just go nah 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 nah?
I kind of checked out, but I didn't leave the stream or just like turn my back or anything. I just wasn't paying attention. I caught some things still. I think this is the first time I actually like saw the villain, who looks cool, to be fair. I think it's
Villain.
cool to yeah,
He seems to me
whatever.
like the kind of person who'll be like the villain for the first half, and then somebody else comes, big mastermind comes in. You know what I mean?
I could see it being a situation where he's like the primary heckler for Grace's part and Leon has a different guy that he's dealing with.
Maybe.
Kinda how they divvy this up with the split paths a lot of the time.
But
But
yeah,
I caught some other things that I was like, oh, is that this? That's kind of neat. But I wasn't like trying to pay too much attention to it.
I still think with this, this Raccoon City kind of the survivors kind of infection of everyone being kind of, marked 30 years after for death or whatever. They've got the Black Plague, the Black Spot. I said it before. I said it in our predictions episode, Hunter. I'll say it again. I still think you'll live. You'll live through it.
Yeah,
Homie Leo, I'll be very surprised if they do kill him off.
dude, I'm struggling to.
Um,
Resident Evil doesn't like kill the main
Ethan's an
characters.
exception. He's not a rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I still think this game looks incredible. It's still making me sit there going, oh, I'm gonna obviously play Resident Evil 2 first because I feel like it would be doing a disservice to not play Resident Evil 2 before playing this. But I am sitting there, I'm going, this game does look very good. I also want to give a huge, it's still not announced who's voicing her, but whoever is voicing Grace in this video game is doing one heck of a job because just every time I hear a line of
really
dialogue
good.
from her, I'm just sitting there and I'm going, you genuinely sound like you're about to shit yourself. Like you genuinely sound terrified. And it's very rare, fear is a really hard emotion, especially when you're voice acting in a video game. It's a very hard emotion to convey. So the fact that you're doing it so well, like it's just like little bits and pieces, it's like little bits of dialogue. Like, she's fumbling her words, she's saying the wrong thing, and it's just like just little bits and pieces like that. I'm like, then modern Resident Evil will be something for the history books where you look at it and you go, what a pivot and what a successful pivot back to
what a run.
Making yourself the definitive horror franchise once again. Yeah, incredible. Anyway, couple of things we can skip over now.
Yeah, after the court-appointed Capcom segments, we got a Legacy of Kain Defiance remaster coming in March. That's cool. I like that they're not just tapping out after the 2 Soul Reaver games. I also saw something. It wasn't noted here. I kind of slipped under my radar while it was happening, but apparently there's some other second game that got
Oh,
slid in there. I don't
clever.
remember what it was called, but I read a thing from Tomor Hussein talking about some other second games also being worked on and
Oh,
imminent.
nice. Good for them.
After that was Brigadine Abyss, which is apparently some resurrection of an old when I say D tier, I don't mean necessarily the quality of JRPG. It may or may not be. I mean the notability and who knows about this kind of thing, because I've never heard of this, and
Bro,
I don't think most people I talk to do.
Dude, I think we need to have a genuine discussion at some point about the kind of the state of JRPGs and stuff like that, because I feel like, we give a lot of criticism to Western devs in the current kind of open world gameplay structure system that a lot of games tend to follow, these RPG like mechanics, people bashing in on roguelites and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know what it is about this generation of the PS5, Xbox Series generation, but when it comes to JRPGs, there have been so many that I look at and I'm like, you could put this screenshot.
A lot of them look the
They're
same.
all the same.
We'll get to that in a little bit too, because
it's like the Genshinification of the genre in a way, where it's like everything's a grassy field. Everything's a grassy field. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. We were kind of cooking. Do you remember in 2017 when you got Persona 5 and Nier Automata and all this other jazz? And then you just sit here now and it's just like, oh, it's another one where it's fantasy with swords in a green field. And I'm like, okay, cool. Where's my depressing one? Where's my where's my one where I have to waste an ungodly amount of time trying to become friends with people? Like, where is that? Everything just kind of seems to be a bit all samey. But, where's one for the boys? Like Dead or Alive 6 Last Round, Hunter? Where's one for the homies?
Yeah. Dead or Alive 6 is an updated version of Dead or Alive. Yeah, Dead or Alive 6 Last Round. Is an update to the latest one. Kyle has a humorous amount of notes on this.
Of course he does, bro. Of course he is. He's paying attention closely.
All right. The two SNK characters are gone because I guess the license ran out. New characters and costumes are coming later. There's going to be a free-to-play version. Allegedly good netcode. June 25th is when it comes out. And apparently there's a new one in the works.
There's two things. Go on.
He knows it's not Soul Calibur, but I'll take it. And
cool.
I respond to that. I will not.
Yeah, same. I will not take it either. The two notes I have to go is one is from Cal Bossman. He did a non-delayed input episode this week where I was talking about stuff, and he noted, and I didn't notice this, when they went into photo mode and they were moving the characters around, all the models are still, obviously, because it's a photo mode, except for the ladies, you-know-whats, because they were jiggling like it's nobody's business. And I'm like, classic Dead or Alive. The only physics that exist in the photo mode is, of course, that. Of course. Why not? Classic. Also, I want to give us there's something that I found incredibly funny, that they were like, yes, we have to follow the modern tradition of revealing new fighting games, of having that excruciatingly high detailed reveal trailer that's really close in on a model, like Street Fighter 6 had the one of Ryu really close. You had the Tekken one, and it's like, we've got to do it for the next Dead or Alive project, but all we're gonna do is show a woman's cleavage and then say a new project's in development. I'm like, of course that's what they did, and that's all we get, and there you go. And I just sat there and I'm like, it's 2026. I'm not I'm all for a bit of banter, but I'm like, guys, it feels like it was yoinked straight out of 2001, and there you go. Job done. It's there's a part of me, Hunter, that kind of respects it. There's a part of me that respects it.
It knows what it knows what it wants to do, and it knows what its audience is.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. But also, I'm writing all your sickos' names down that buy it, because I'm judging. I respect it, but I'm also judging just a tiny little bit. I can't talk. I play Overwatch, dude. I can't talk, but it's what it is. Anyway,
Next up was another showing for Control Resonant. I wasn't expecting to see this again so soon.
I know, right? It might actually come out this year.
Really good showing too.
Mm.
It showed off all the like shifting gravity stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. I
Mm-hmm.
liked one of the animations where Dylan's thing turned into a set of little stabby sticks. I thought that was neat. Um, Still not completely certain it will come out this year, but definitely feels more possible now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it looked solid. Again, it's one of those ones where it's like I've re-downloaded Control because I'm like, okay. Again, a bit like Kenna, it's like I should probably get in on this now. I've been waiting for years to play Control, and I'm like, I guess this is my kind of uh my onboarding process now. Is okay. I guess if the sequel's on the way, I might as well at least see if I like the original first. Because I've always
Yeah.
wanted to play a Remedy game, but I'm not into horror, especially like extremely jump scare kind of in your face horror. And Alan Wake 2 literally has a thing where it's just like just for shits and gigs, just puts a jump scare on your screen every 22 minutes just for a bit of fun. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
don't
Alan
appreciate
Wake
that,
2
guys.
goes full send into the horror, and then like Alan Wake 1 isn't really a horror game, but it's also not very fun to like actually play, so I wouldn't really
Yeah,
be
Control is
selling
like
that one to you either.
Control has got like it's got a creepy-ish atmosphere, but it's more like liminal space kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's more
Yeah,
like the
going
being
for it.
stuck in an empty office at night kind of thing that
Yeah,
upsets people.
yeah. So I've always wanted to try Control, and I'm willing, to give it a go. So yeah, that's on my list. But yeah, this looked like a really solid showing. Just let them cook, dude. Like Remedy cook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, next up we had Crimson Moon,
I'm
which
not gonna lie, skip this one even on the rewatch, mate.
yeah, it was this is one where I kind of tuned out for a
I actually give
second.
this one the most generic showing of the show. Like this is the one.
I'm inclined to agree. For a
Mm.
second, I thought because of like the hood or whatever there and the kind of semi-biblical babble they were talking about at the beginning of the trailer, I was like, it's about to be a Darksiders thing, and
Maybe
then it just
it
kind
does
of looked
look
like a
Darksiders-ish actually.
then it kind of just rolled up and he looked like the kind of default armor in a Dark Souls game with a
Yeah,
friend, and I'm like, well,
better
okay.
look next time.
At least the guitar in the guitar track in the background sounds kind of cool, but I'm not gonna be playing this one.
Yeah. It didn't do anything for me. Neither did the new showing of Beasts of Reincarnation. This still doesn't
Dude, I
really
might be
say
a
anything
hater,
to
but I
me.
don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see the vision. I think it's really funny that it was literally at an Xbox Dev Direct 2 weeks ago, and it just said coming summer 2026, and then they literally 2 weeks later are like, lol, JK, we gave PlayStation the release date. I'm like, okay. I feel like
Yeah,
the deep dive would have been a better place to have given the date, because,
you would
but
think
hey
so.
ho.
Maybe it was just one of those things where they figure leave the date for the latest thing they have it for.
And also, I don't know, maybe more eyes were on the state of play than they were on the Xbox Dev Direct. I don't know. It's one of those things.
I wouldn't be
Maybe they're
surprised, but
thinking
like
that. Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know.
know. But yeah,
It
this
didn't do
doesn't
anything.
really do anything for me. When it comes to like action games that have come out recently, it looks more like it's landing on the side of Lost Soul aside than even like a Stellar Blade. So,
Yeah.
um, the kind of plant jump thing they have there was a neat looking animation, and
Hmm.
the wolf is well rendered. I'll give them
It's a
that.
very
But
it's a very nice looking game. I'll give it that. But yeah, it's not doing anything for me. I'm only willing to give a shot really to one new Game Freak game this year.
yeah,
And I think I'm going to be locked in on Wind and Waves. So sorry, Beast of Reincarnation. Better luck next time, I guess. Um, Mina the Hollower's got a demo. It's out right now if you want to check it out, and it's coming out in spring apparently.
yeah,
I'll believe it when
that's
I see it.
cool. Yeah, I saw the unspecified spring dates, and I was like, I guess they just want to be really sure with the date then.
Mate, I hate to break it to you, but we are literally like 2 weeks away from being into spring. So you should really, if you are releasing in spring, you should have that date by now. Like you should be
Yeah,
there. But hey ho, It's there if you want to check it out. There's also a prologue that's been added to Never, if you care about that. And it's also in the PS Plus extra catalog right now, if you want to
Yeah,
play
I
it.
am probably gonna play the base game sometime in the near future because that game looked cool and I just didn't make the time for it. And now
I literally played Gree last
on
month,
offer.
so yeah, I'll probably be joining you on that at some point soon. There was another one as well that's on the PS Plus collection that they've added that I was like, ooh, I was looking into that as well.
Yeah.
So.
But Rayman 30th anniversary is a thing that is coming.
Oh yeah, we skipped past that. Sorry about that.
Courtesy of Digital Eclipse.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? So it's like there's 5 versions of Rayman 1 that you can play on it. There's the PS1 version, there's the Jaguar version, there's is it the Genesis? Is it the Sega version? I can't remember which Sega version it is. And then it's GBA and Game Boy, just Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. There's the SNES prototype because the game was originally for the SNES. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a nice little collection to have. You know, it's got all the modern
Digital
toggles.
Eclipse does a great job with this kind of stuff, and I think
it's not particularly expensive either. It's a pretty reasonable price. Only thing to make a note of is it's got a new soundtrack. It's not a 1-to-1 recreation of that soundtrack either, so there are things that have changed. It's a very good soundtrack, that's what I will say, but it's not the original, so if you're expecting that. Unfortunately, the original composer of Rayman 1 passed away. So I think like the rights and all that jazz are in like this weird kind of limbo state, so they've had to re-record it and do some new stuff. But the new composer was really close with the previous composer, so it's a really good soundtrack, but it's different. So fans aren't, some fans didn't take it very well.
Yeah,
so
some
it's
fans
still
aren't.
Great. It's just not the same. So take that what you will. It's still a great collection. I think it's a great way to play Rayman 1. It's very hard to play Rayman 1 on modern platforms. It's like this is the only way. So it's not too bad of a shout. There's also though, if you have PC, there was like that. I can't remember what it was called, but they did like a fan did like a remake of Rayman 1. It was like a proper little job. You had to provide your own ROM and your own legal copy of it because that's what we do on the internet, ladies and gentlemen. But it was like, I can't remember what it was called, Rayman Revisited or something like that. But that was really good. So if you have your legal copy and you've got your ROM and you want to play it that way, that's probably still the best way to play it. But hey, Digital Eclipse has got you covered with all these other versions. I'm thinking of buying it just to support Rayman because it's been like 13
Someone's
years.
got to.
It's been 13 years since we've had a new Rayman game.
Yeah.
And also, I'm a big fan of Rayman 2 and Rayman 3. I'd love for them to both get the same treatment. So, yeah, make it happen, dude. Make it happen.
Next up was Yako Shinobi Ops, which was
I'm not gonna lie, I skipped through this one as well.
Yeah, this one was a kind of seemed like an isometric tactical stealth game for a minute there when you did showed like the 4 of them. I'm like, oh no, it's about to be some stupid multiplayer thing. But
yeah,
it seems cool. I don't know if I'll pick it up right away. Like it's one of those ones for like if like you're really itching for a stealth game outside of like a Hitman or something on the more action stealth side like a Metal Gear, this might actually be pretty neat as far as what they got going on. Seems like you've got this big old sandbox to screw off in and do your missions for. Seems like it could be cool.
Yeah,
2027 window, which is hysterical, but it's all right.
I mean,
I guess
it's not the game with the longest out release date.
Yeah,
of the
no kidding.
show. They announced a mid to late gen PS6 game at this show, Hunter. So we'll get to that. This one was interesting though. Project Windless. The chicken
the
game,
Leghorn game.
Yeah.
This one was funny because there were some times where I thought the mood they were conjuring up, like in the introduction there, was cool, but something about the way Foghorn Leghorn moves, the vibes are off for me.
Yeah, it's
Like he moves too fast in combat for how he seems to move everywhere else.
it's an interesting one, right? It's like it's kind of like again, it looks like a mixture of like, classic modern Souls formula with a little hint. It looks like it's like a mixture of like Dynasty Warriors and like Souls is kind of what I got from it, where you play as a giant rooster. It looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Again, it's like you've got more of a hook than you have in like other games. You play as a big rooster man with a sword. Cool. It's a bit of a hook.
Yeah.
But also it's like again, I feel like games like this are a dime a dozen these days, or it's like I feel
There
like
was one right at the end of last year where I think the one that I'm thinking it was called like Zoo Punk or something, where it looked substantially worse. Like I looked at
yeah.
the combat animations in that one, I'm like, oh my god, that looks rough. It looks
I
like you're
mean, this
not
game
even
looks
doing
it
anything.
looks
Where
particularly high
this
quality.
actually seems had to be like, it seems like your blows have substantial impact and all of that.
It definitely seems like it is very, like I say, it's very Warriors. It's, I'm just assuming from what we've seen that, Warriors kind of combat with then like Soulsy kind of fights, because let's be real, Warriors boss fights aren't real. They can't hurt you. Uh, you just mash the same button anyway. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But it was interesting. You know, we, I can't complain. We got a bit of a block where I can complain though before we get to Konami block. Star Wars Galactic Racer got a gameplay trailer. It looks fine if you're into racing in a
I
galactic
think
setting.
that the I think that the people who are excited for this are gonna be happy.
Hmm. I think that's a
Like,
fair statement.
yeah, like I don't really play or care about racing games that aren't Crash Team Racing, but this one looked
True.
kind of cool.
It looked fine until then at the end when they started teasing that pod race, of course pod racing's a part of it. Then I'm like, okay, there you go, because that's the bit that you really care about. Let's be honest, like that's what the children yearn for, is the pods. That's what you
Is it one
want.
of those things where would that be anything substantially different than just selecting that as your vehicle, or
I don't know. I
yeah,
assume that
that's what I
the
took it as, to be honest.
yeah, but we'll see. Speaking of games that have had far too many trailers, 007 First Light gets a yet another trailer. I mean, this game looks good, but again, showing a bit too much. I've seen way too much of this game at this point. Just bring it out. Get it out.
I, I think this was maybe the best one that I've
Yeah.
seen so far. To be fair, but yeah, I think they should stop showing it so much.
I mean, I'm looking forward to this game. This game was a day one for me anyway. I'm not a huge Bond fan, but I am a huge IO fan after finally getting into Hitman. And I'm like, you know what? IO IO's take on an Uncharted kind of like narrative adventure is something that I'm like, oh, I really want to see how they pull that off, because they're great at their sandbox level design, and I think they'll be great at a more linear structure as well. Um,
Yeah, I
everything,
think they'll do a
yeah,
good job at like, because of the way that they make all the sandbox stuff. I think they'll have a good balance of like, do this linear objective this way, but also there might be a couple of different ways you can pull it off.
the way I picture it is, the mansion heist level in Uncharted 4 where you're sneaking around the back with Sam. Like there's big kind of like heist, and it's extremely linear. I'm kind of picturing like that kind of like infiltration, sneaking in stuff, but more Hitman in concept, where it's like you need to do that objective, but there'll be multiple ways to actually tackle it, unlike an Uncharted game where you literally have got to go that one way. Is kind of how I'm expecting it. But it looks great. It's also at the perfect time in terms of Bond, because there is no current Bond, so you don't have that conversation where it's like, why isn't it the actor? Why isn't this person doing it? It's a good time to just kind of introduce a new Bond and just go for it. So hey, we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. Um, everything goes swimmingly. We don't have to wait too long. It's out on the 27th of May. Hunter, are you out of the blurry void? Are you still with us?
Yeah, here we are.
I don't. You know, it's a big moment for you. Konami showed up again. They've remembered how to make video games, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man.
Starting off with
Yeah.
the Master Collection, Volume 2. Metal Gear Solid 4 has finally found a way to get off the PS3.
It's
Um,
released from jail at
dude,
long last.
it was Red Dead and this that were like the long-standing, like they were trapped, like,
Yeah.
and they finally both been freed from captivity, and
What a
it's a good day.
what a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is out in August. They just love August for Metal Gear. Apparently, this is
It's the
almost
same date
identical
for
to the
3 days.
days.
It's
Yeah.
3 years in a row on the same day, basically. You know, you had Master Collection 1, then Delta, then 2. It's like they love that date. They're keeping
Yeah,
it
it's
a tradition.
pretty humorous, but I can't wait to get to this when it comes out. I went through the first three with my friends a couple of years ago when that dropped, so it'll be nice to give them the ending to the story.
Yeah. It's finally given me
Also,
the kick to just get started with them, because now I will have,
yeah,
you know, all the mainline installments are now available on one platform, which is great.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It also comes with Peace Walker, which was the one for the PSP that came out after Metal Gear Solid 4, and Ghost Babel, which was, I think that was the Game Boy,
It is.
Game
Yeah.
Boy Advance Game Boy?
I think it's advanced.
One of them. I
It's
don't
advanced.
remember. I know it came out like right before 2.
Mhm.
It was very weird, that one, but that's for the sickos.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, like I say, it's a solid little collection. I think, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be there, obviously, at launch. It's one of those things that's like, I'll get to it. Also, the way Master Collection 1 came out, might be best to leave it just a little bit, let them figure out the kinks.
Yeah.
But
At least, they seem to be committed to, updating it to be better.
And, I know I've seen a lot of people online go, oh, really? It's just 4 and Peace Walker. The first collection was 3 games and it had the original Metal Gear and stuff like that. I'm like, to be honest, I'm sure it was a lot more work to get Metal Gear Solid 4 off of the PS3. I don't think people realize how integrated it was into the cell architecture. Like, people don't realize,
like Metal Gear Solid 4 was, I still believe, one of the best looking games of that generation. Probably because of just how ingrained into the system they got with it there.
Yeah. But
But
it's finally
I
free.
think there will be a volume 3 that has Revengeance and everything else that's left. I think Revengeance will be good enough. Like, there's enough sickos that already like it, plus enough weird curiosity that springs up for it every couple of years that I think will be enough to get people that one plus anything they have left.
I mean, they could even do just a PS5 native version of 5. They could also just do that, because it's not available on Switch. It's not available on Switch 2.
Yeah,
that's one of those ones where it's like they could just do Revengeance and 5, and the little bits and pieces, the little dregs that are left, the little bonuses that they could do.
I'm sitting here trying to remember. I think Portable Ops is left, unless that was
Portable Ops
Volume 1, but
no, it wasn't.
I think that's like it. Okay.
Yeah, I can 100% see them doing like 5 Portable Ops and Revengeance. I can see that being a nice little bundle that they do as a Volume 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's out this year. So is Darwin's Paradox. That's not out. It's out in a little while.
That's out in April.
I
saw some people seem to have hurt feelings about the little bait and switch is how they felt about the little lead into the Octopus Metal Gear demo thing. I'm like, you guys are being stupid. I didn't think that was going to be an actual like Metal Gear Solid announcement. I thought for a second maybe, like, I heard some stupid rumor a week or two ago about like Metal Gear Solid, like Snake being put in like a Splinter Cell thing. I don't remember.
It's not a rumor. Was it a rumor? Oh, because it was. He's already been in a Splinter Cell at some point, or there's been a crossover at some point.
But I think I just remembered seeing something about one of those being imminent, so I thought that was gonna be what this was. When I saw the little octopus thing, I was like, oh, cool, it's this game. because this game looks oddly like better than you would expect it to. I
I
think.
mean, here's the thing, and I'm just gonna double check real quick, just because I don't want to put yeah, like here's the thing: is you sit there and you go, oh, okay, this is like whatever, dumb little game or whatever, but then it's only $25.
Yeah. Like I am 100% willing to give this a shot because it does look pretty good.
It's
I'm
a
not
goofy
gonna
little
lie. Like
game. It's got some Metal Gear
a cool
references in
looking
it.
octopus. It's got a
It's £20.
it's got a vibe that gives off semi like almost like Unravel, almost like Inside in some ways with like the way the industrial areas and something mostly of that first trailer I saw it in last year, but yeah.
But when I was sitting there, I was like, there were people getting angry at it, and I'm like, at one point, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely not worth 60. But then when I found it was like 25, I'm like, bro, why are we
Yeah.
hating on this, dude? $25, like this seems like a reasonable price for this kind of thing. It looks like a neat little indie kind of platformer thing. Leave it be,
Yeah.
leave it be. What's it done? Do you?
Yes.
You got your sicko stuff afterwards. Here you go, guys. This is the big one for Hunter, so I will read this
Oh,
part out so that
yes.
because he can have the floor. Castlevania Belmont's Curse is the brand new 2D Castlevania entry. Yeah, it's finally time, everybody. It is. It's been long rumored for a while that this has been in development. And it is. It's. They've got an A-list team basically on it. Like you could not ask for a better team to be making.
Yeah.
A 2D Castlevania team. This is obviously going out by its
It
Evil
was
Empire
Evil
and its
Empire
Motion
and
Twin.
Motion Twin. So both the studios that were in charge of Dead Cells throughout its life cycle there, both of them
Yeah,
coming together to do this. That is the best you could ask for. I think I played the base game of Dead Cells 2024,
yeah.
and I thought that was pretty darn good. This is going to get me probably to pick up the Return to Castlevania version sometime soon because I wanted to do that anyway, and now I really want to. And like Evil Empire was, I really liked Rogue Prince of Persia when I played that last year, so it's this is very exciting.
It's in the right hands. Obviously, it's coming out this year. It's got a really cool art style to it. It is 2.5D, but also it's good 2.5D. A lot of 2.5D is ugly as sin. This isn't. It actually looks really good. And yeah, it's out this year. And they did specify that this is the first of the projects that they have planned for Castlevania. So this is just the first step of them bringing it back, which is not a bad first step to take.
No, this is pretty good.
I think this strikes a really good balance on satisfying the OG fans of Castlevania, but also moving it in a direction where it's like I can see a lot of people who would have
Yeah,
been interested in the past pick this up because
yeah.
they could
This
have very
looks
easily have
modern
just
for
done a
like
2D.
everything that's going on here.
Mhm.
Like looks like there's a lot of razzle dazzle in the gameplay where as I've been spending the past couple of years going back through the older Castlevania games, it's very like meat and potatoes. You get your whip and you get your items and you live with the consequences of your actions kind of thing.
100%.
This looks like it's gonna be great.
And then the last thing that they showed off was Silent Hill returning once again. You cannot get rid of it. They're just turning Silent Hill into an annual franchise at this point, ladies and gentlemen.
It's very strange to imagine that this series was dead just a couple of years ago, and now it's got a game every year that seems to have a batting average of pretty good.
Yeah, Silent Hill Townfall is a brand new Silent Hill game. It is set in Scotland in 1996. It is first person, which is a little bit different. I heard some people saying something on, people whining on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. It's
Classic.
like, oh, why are they doing it? Why are they doing it first person? It's like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
Well, I mean,
do we forget PT?
To be fair, the most anticipated game in the series history was going to be in first person.
Do we forget PT? Yeah, it's just very funny to me that it's just like everyone just forgets that little nugget of history there.
Yeah. But no, I think this looks pretty cool. It's a different direction to take it. Like, things would get old. Like, I would be a little more grumpy about there being a game every year for the past couple if they were all the same.
Yeah.
But Silent Hill F was already pretty different from Remake 2 and the way that they played, and this is going to be different in its own way with the... I like what they seem to have going on with the little hand television thing that they're playing with there.
Yeah, it's a cool little mechanic. But yeah, it seems that at least for the time being, Silent Hill is an annual franchise.
Meh.
It wouldn't surprise me if that carries on as well, because obviously you've got Bloober working on the one remake. They might have a year off next year and then come back the year after.
I think I think things just lined up really well for them. As far as like
they could have a secret fourth project in the works as well, though.
Yeah, I guess it's possible as long as it's not anything like that Ascension fiasco. But but yeah, like I'm honestly after this, or like say if the remake of 1 was ready by next year, if it was that, and then take a year or 2 off, I'd be cool with that.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to. It feels a bit like Resi.
Goodwill. Yeah.
Seems a bit like Resi when you had 7, 2, 3, and 8 really close together, and it was like, okay. And then they had a bit of a gap between 8 and 2 and 4 remake, and then they had an even bigger gap between 4 and Requiem. And it's like, okay,
yeah,
I respect
if that's the kind of
gaps.
rhythm they settled into, or if that's the kind of rhythm that they do settle into, I will, be happy with that. I feel like you could look into other things to do to kind of keep it in the public mind. Give me a master collection of Silent Hill, please. I would love to play 3 without a blood sacrifice.
That's the spirit. And the final announcement from Konami was something new. And by something new, I mean they're making the most generic JRPG ever made. It's called Rev Noir.
Every other this is like every other game that looks like this.
Dude,
for a minute they were kind of just talking the typical what sounded like JRPG jargon before they showed you visuals. Than
that, bro.
And I was like, is it gonna be like Suikoden or something? Because I believe that was Konami. But no, this is just like, this looks like all of the other ones.
Bro, it doesn't even look like
with Tales of Arise and Scarlet Nexus. I have like little visual cues that I can look at and be like, okay, Scarlet Nexus, futuristic urban kind of setting with the plant people. Tales of Arise has characters that look distinct. Everything here, the one shot, like the one kind of shot of the 2 people or the 3 people as it panned out to the did the Breath of the Wild shot or whatever. This is just the second title screen in Xenoblade 2.
It's not even that. It's just Genshin, dude. Like that's the problem. Is it's like. The thing with Xenoblade is it's at least, it's got its own aesthetic, especially because you're on the shoulders of titans and stuff like that. You've got the clouds moving, where it's just like, there's something to it. How industrial a lot of Xenoblade 3's world design was. There's lots of bits to it where it's like, okay, I understand it. It's got its own aesthetic. There are so many of these games that have just gone, oh man. People really seem to like JRPGs and they seem to really like Genshin. Let's just go for grass and a field a bit, and then it's just the generic character models. It's just there's no personality in these kind of generic anime character models.
Like these people look like they could be made in the Code Vein 2 character creator demo that was put out a week or 2 ago, You know what
I mean? It's like Fire Emblem is extremely generic when it comes to like their fantasy and the way that they do their world design and their thing. But they go so intricate with their character designs.
You can look at someone and be like, oh, well, at least they look like a Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
you can even specify like the era of Fire Emblem it is, because when they start looking so ridiculous, it's like, this is Awakening and After.
Yeah. Bryce, this is just nothing there. But hey. Silly days.
Also, from like a putting the show together perspective, I would have switched this with. I probably would have switched this in Castlevania as far as where at in the.
I agree.
Sequencing they go, because this kind of sticks out to me more because it was the end of Konami's segment.
Do you know what this gives me? And it's really harsh. And I don't mean that this trailer was as bad as what we saw from this. It gives me Persona 4 Revival vibes, where I'm like,
Oh,
oh, this is pre-alpha. Like, oh god, they've just got them out. They've just got that first attempt at the model done. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
yeah,
when we were looking at the lighting, we're like,
yeah,
like, yeah. Dude, I don't want to be I don't want to be a hate. I'm sure that this might come back in 2 years with a lighting pass and some actual decent characters and voice acting. And you might go, oh, okay.
yeah. Like if it comes back in a few years with like a hook or something, maybe I'll be more. The problem with a lot of these though is they don't really come with a hook. They come with
No,
the same look and premise as everything else. It looks like this.
it felt more like this felt like more like a proof of concept than it did an
Yeah,
actual video game. And with a name like Rev Noir, it still feels like it might be a proof of concept. So
yeah, it's very
let's see them
possible.
cook, dude.
It seems
Um.
like it could be renamed.
Anyway, John Wick is getting a big AAA video game by Saber. It's been confirmed that Keanu Reeves is reprising his role as John Wick, obviously in the game.
Yeah,
It's a prequel to all of the films, so it's set before the first film. I think the director of the John Wick films is also involved. There's some bits and
yeah. I saw
pieces.
something about where they're like probably doing like continuity checks or something like
It's
that.
all just a load of jargon so that the fanboys just shut up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a
It
video
was
game.
funny watching the trailer because it took me I got there before like you were supposed to get there. I think I
Yeah.
got there at like the whiskey glass. I'm like, this seems very John Wick like
Hmm.
here. And then probably mostly because of the way the Taylor guy was talking to him. And then I was like, oh, it is. That's cool. Man, so if this works out, I think it'll be great. Like if it
Mm.
who knows if it will. Because John Wick I feel like is very tailor made to be a cool action game. It's basically like the movie equivalent of it's like to movies what Devil May Cry is to video games in my mind, as far as
Mm.
just really good at doing action stuff really well. So if they make this and it's like good, I think it'll be fairly stellar. I haven't played any of Saber's games to really say that I know that that's a slam dunk. Like if I had seen a slow clap logo before I saw this
Yeah.
trailer, I would have popped off. But like it wasn't actual gameplay, but they choreographed the fight in a way. At least they understand that the pre-canned animations right at the
Yeah.
end
They just kind of looked
seemed
like
alright.
Yakuza finishing moves, though. You know what I mean? It's like you
Yeah,
press the triangle
yeah,
button and then it does like a fun little animation. Like that's what that felt
yeah.
like.
I know what you mean.
Um, it
Yeah, I
looked
definitely
fine.
see what you mean, but I'll have to see more of this for sure.
Yeah, I
I
mean, we'll have
want
to
it to
see
be
more.
good.
And yet, Saber it's an interesting pick. They have done some good games recently. They've been a bit on the up. Obviously, was it 40? They did 40K Dark Tide, didn't they? Was it that? Which one
Oh,
did they do? Or was it
was
Space
it
Marine?
Space
Space
Marine?
Marine. It's Space Marine they did. Um, which obviously people really liked. But also you'd think that the people that made Space Marine 2 are working on Space Marine 3 or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, so it's not going to be that part of
Uh,
Saber that's going to be moving to John Wick. So it's like, hopefully it's good, but you can't, these kind of trailers are a bit useless, to be honest. Like, it's fine to set the tone and go, oh, cool, I guess that's in the works, but you can't really judge it until you actually see the
yeah,
damn
yeah.
game.
That's why I was like, that's why I threw slow clap out there. If this was the Sifu people, I wouldn't need any more than this trailer to
Yeah.
be like, oh, here we go.
It's like when you heard that IO was doing Bond, and you're like, okay, yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Marathon got a story and a beta trailer. It's coming out on the 5th of March, obviously, but it's announced that it's doing its big beta from the 26th to the 2nd, the weekend before. Give you a chance to play. From what I'm hearing about Marathon, it seems like it's been a roller coaster ride for Marathon. It
It
had,
seems like
it's
public sentiment has swung back in its favor in the past
yeah,
couple of months, where
yeah.
suddenly it's like wishlisted on Steam a whole bunch and such, which good for them. I don't see it, but good for them.
I mean, yeah, I'm not the kind of audience for this, really.
Yeah,
Um, I really love Destiny. I think Destiny is fantastic. The current state of Destiny is absolute. We don't talk about that really. Um, but I'm a fan of Bungie's gameplay. I think Bungie are fantastic at what they have done for decades, which is make really good first person shooter gameplay. And I'm sure Marathon will be no different. It's just the gameplay loop really isn't for me. But with the talent that's behind it in terms of, the developer, but also just like the voice cast and all that jazz, it's in my opinion, say what you want about Arc Raiders, is it a good video game fundamentally? Surely must be because so many people are enjoying it. But there's something about Bungie coming out here with, a competitor in the same genre and a huge middle finger to the developer that's like, we're just going to use AI voices by hiring all of the best voice talent that
every
has been
voice
in the games
actor that
industry.
exists. Yeah,
There's something I kind of respect about it, to be honest.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm hopeful for them. I hope it works out. I know they've had a rough couple of years, and I know that the Sony acquisition has probably been the worst thing to happen to both parties in recent history. Um,
Honestly, though, yeah.
so fingers crossed. Everything works out fine. Guess you can find out. Anyway, games are coming to PS Plus. If you are in Extra, you can play Spider-Man 2 starting in a couple of days. I think it's this Tuesday, so tomorrow as the podcast goes out. They've announced the next two classics that are coming. So over the next 2 months, you've got Tekken Dark Resurrection and Time Crisis. The arcade, is that like an arcadey kind of
It was
thing?
one of those light gun
Oh,
games.
thank God.
So yeah, apparently
Who wants
the
the Ratchet and
gyro
Clank trilogy, mate? Who wants
the
it?
gyro controls are compatible with the dual sensor compatible with it. So
Don't worry, Hunter. Like I said, who wants the original Ratchet trilogy when you can get Wally for the PS2 coming to PlayStation Classics this month, dude? I've got you.
that one
I've got you.
that one cracked me up.
Bro, I swear they just throw a dart at the dartboard every bloody time, and they're like, "Oh, what do the children yearn for? Oh, an actual PlayStation Classic? Nah, mate, Disney slop, Disney slop. Oh, there you go. You can have Jack 1. Where's 2 and 3? Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. To be fair,
Yeah.
I don't worry. Jack 1's the only good one, so it's fine. You can keep it. The big one for me is I'm looking forward to this quite a bit. Big Walk by House
Oh,
is
Big
going to be a
Walk
day
looks
and date.
cool.
Yeah, Big Walk is a very goofy game. I've had my eye on it for a while since it was announced.
Yeah.
It's basically a piss about game by the developers of Untitled Goose Game. So
Yeah, Goose Game was great, so this will undoubtedly, especially if you've got friends to play around with, it'll be
and it's
a
on Plus,
fun
and it's going to be
time.
on Essential. So if you have PS Plus at all on any tier, you'll have access to it. So grab some friends and muck about. I'm sure it'll be a decent time. We're getting near the end now. Legacy of Kain Ascendance was the last like third party reveal of the show. Yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the second
The other one,
that's the
yeah.
second thing. I
It's
just couldn't remember what it was called.
yeah, it's a pixel art 2D thing. It's there.
Yeah,
So
looks
and
neat.
it's out next month, so 31st March. Go ham. Right, final couple. Sony kind of solidifying the rest of their year, bar Wolverine. Obviously, they've got a couple more games to do, starting
Yeah.
with Saros. Again, more Saros gameplay. Again, I've seen enough of this game now where I'm like, I'm gonna buy it anyway. You can stop now.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I will.
I think Saros is doing some interesting things. I'm very excited for it just because of how much I liked Returnal.
Yeah.
There is a part of me that's almost thinking, are they swinging too much in the other direction?
Oh yeah. Like when they got to the thing about you can jump to the biomes whenever after you get there, just the once, I'm like, I wonder if that's a bit of an overcorrection.
That's what that
don't
genuinely
think
was my thought. Is that an
I don't
overcorrection?
I don't think I'll care that much, just because, like, truthfully, you could almost do that in Returnal anyway.
I mean, you did like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, where you could just go there after you could skip.
You didn't have to beat the boss every time.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
long as
you
you
could just skip
opened,
to
as long
the.
as you opened the gateway then you were fine. You were good to go. You just had, and you used it kind of to start your progression, which was fine.
Yeah,
I had no
yeah.
issues with that. I
It's just
understand that
something
from
about
their
choosing it
perspective.
from a menu feels a little vibes are slightly off there is all.
Yeah, I get that. Um, yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. I still think it's going to be a great game. Um, but yeah, there were just little bits and pieces where I was like, okay, I understand it. I think it's going to be a lot more accessible to people. Um, I'm at the biggest times not a huge fan of skill trees and manual like kind of customization. So I'm already sitting there and I'm going, I kind of like the look of the draw sometimes, you know. I don't really care
Yeah.
about these permanent upgrade systems, but you know, it's there, it's cool. Um Again, I thought it was very interesting how they've got the world balance kind of thing where it's like you can tweak these modifiers to make it easier or harder, but it has to be within the requirements of the thing.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah. I looked
like,
at that. I'm like, oh, it's
that also
like
kind of
the
feels antithetical to the idea. If it's like, oh, we want to make it so that you can build yourself up. And I'm like, I'm sure there are going to be people, and I don't know if they'll patch it in later or if you beat the game, they let you go crazy. But I think there's
yeah.
going
It's
to be a
like if
lot
the
of people
pact of
that,
punishment had like a balance mechanic.
hang on, you put too punishing, too punishing, you
Yeah.
know? Like, because there's going to be,
I
I
wonder
know a
if
lot of people,
maybe it's because for some reason it seemed like there were ones that buff you too. Maybe they just have this like maybe you can make it really hard on yourself for no reason, but you can only like the only one that there's actually rules for are like buffs.
hear me out. I think that fair enough if you want to keep it until you beat the story. I think as soon as the story's beaten or whatever, let
Yeah, it's
go
just
hog wild. You know, unlock
yeah,
the
let you
let
do
me.
what you want.
I don't like, you know, people are like, oh, what if you make it too easy? I'm like, don't. You
Who
control the buttons
cares?
you press. Don't.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like people
yeah,
complaining about the extra progression things they've added to Final Fantasy VII remake, where it's like, oh well, if you can max out damage, then what's the point? I'm like, you control turning that option on and off. Don't turn the
yeah,
option on. Are you telling me that your attention span is that short that the second you find a bit of challenge in a video game, you're gonna go, oh, I'm gonna press it. I'm gonna press the big button. Like, you know what I mean? Just control yourself. Just have some
yeah,
control. Have
yeah.
some restraint. There'll be
Have some
people that need
restraint.
that, and that's fair
Yeah,
enough.
some people might need that. Some people pressing the buttons is the hard part.
Yeah, let me go. But yeah, I think it's really interesting. Again, I don't know. Like, I'm interested to see how this game plays. I really am. With the whole teleportation mechanic, I'm wondering if it is more of a conquering the biome is the main goal instead of, you know, passing through everywhere like you do in Returnal. Maybe it is conquering the area, especially with the Eclipse changing the way that the gameplay systems work in those areas. Maybe it is more of a conquer than a, you know, pass through and slip. I don't know. We'll find out. It's,
Yeah,
it's out in like 2 months, mate. We'll find out.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure it'll come together in a way that's neat.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Uh, Anyway, penultimate section was Marvel Tokon is back once again with more
Dude, because of
information.
how long the showcase was running at this point, I thought they might end on this for the second year in a row. I was gonna be like,
Yeah,
oh, come on now. Like, I'm glad that we know when it's coming out, but also,
come on, give me a break, mate. Give me a break. We've
yeah,
seen this 6 million times. Anyway, Storm, Magic, Wolverine, and Danger were the new characters that they wanted to particularly highlight. Obviously, we knew about Storm, but those were the ones that they wanted to
yeah,
really showcase this time around. Um,
Wolverine
that was that those
naturally
were like they were all
huge.
X-Men. They were showing that there was like an X-Men side to it. They've shown 11 heroes so far, I believe, or around 11. There's 20 that they've confirmed will be in the base roster, so that's your lot. It's out on the 6th of August. Godspeed, I guess.
Yeah,
This game looks fun. Again, it's like I think Sony, especially owning Evo, know they know this kind of field. They know the ballpark that they're going into. I don't think this will be a 2x KO. I think that they will support it the right amount and will have probably gone in with, you know, it's Arc. Arc's working
yeah,
on
it's Arc
this. They
System.
they
Like,
have plans in place. They know how to support these kind of games. Um,
yeah,
the only thing I will say is it's very I don't know if this is just me, being a very greedy person, but year one of content being 4 characters in a stage seems like a very small amount of content for this kind of game. Um, Especially when Marvel Rivals, in terms of a comparison to similar brand recognition, they're just dumping heroes out like it's nobody's business. They're like every month they just dump another bugger out. So 4
Yeah, I
seems a
don't
bit
know.
low, but
It's
what
one
are you
of
gonna
those
do?
things where it's fighting games are different sometimes than
Yeah, yeah.
like with Marvel Rivals. Also,
I
like
yeah,
the designs in this game are leagues better than Marvel. Like if
true.
Deadpool shows up in this, he will look substantially better than he does in Marvel Rivals.
Probably. He'll also probably be voiced by Nolan North because it seems like Tokon is just going for the Steve Blum is voicing
Yeah,
Wolverine, so it's
Steve
like they're
Bloom is
going for the
Wolverine. Yeah,
classics. It seems, which hey, you can't argue with the classics.
yeah.
Anyway, final block was the God of War block. I'm gonna start with the smaller thing, which was the Metroidvania that we've known about for a while. God of War, Ghost, the Sons of Sparta, was out. Shadow dropped. It was out today. It was $30. It's like this kind of watercolor kind of, almost like it reminds me of the Roman kind of and Greek kind of murals on the wall. It's like that kind of art aesthetic, right?
So
Of like.
the funny thing is, like, I've been ever since hearing about this.
Mhm.
There's this game that I played a little bit of. It would have been years ago now, called Apotheon. That was literally like the Greek pottery art style.
Yeah,
And I kept joking that they should just that's what they should do
yeah,
when I would hear about this game. I think the pics. It's funny. I think the animations look really good. I'm
yeah.
not super hot on how it looks when things are just kind of stationary.
Yeah, I'm not 100% hot on it, but yeah, it's a weird one, right? Um, it's there, it's a thing, it's out, it's a
Yeah,
prequel. You can play it now.
I didn't think
Um,
they were gonna go so far back in the story either. Uh, for a minute, it took me out of it. I don't want to play as middle school Kratos, and I was like, oh wait, they will have his brother, so I guess that is a thing that they could explore more.
I'm
But I thought it
sure,
was,
I'm sure that there'll be nuggets of lore that people really care about. There'll be like Atreus,
yeah,
and stuff like that. But when I say Atreus, I mean who Atreus boy was named after, not boy.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just to make that
But yeah,
clear.
I
But I'm sure there'll be plenty
yeah,
of stuff.
I'll probably
Um,
pick this up sometime in the coming days, just
Fair play.
because
Why not?
gotta
Live a
kill
little.
time till Resident Evil.
And then like the big announcement that was the penultimate one, but it was there. The God of War trilogy is being remade. The original voice actor for Kratos, T.C. Carlson, came out. Extremely charming individual, if I do
Dude,
say so
I was
myself.
not expecting the guy who voiced Kratos, the original version of Kratos, to have this kind of disposition. I've never really seen him in
Dude,
a kind of like real life context.
dude, he's like the
So,
definition of Riz, dude. Like I was just looking at him, I'm like, dude, I cannot take my eyes off you. Like, my God. Like, yeah, I've got to say, huge respect to Sony and Santa Monica for bringing him back and being like, yeah, this is your trilogy. Like,
yeah,
I kind of like that. I like that they've got modern Kratos and they've got original Kratos, and they're willing to bring in Christopher Judge when they want to tell that story, and then bring the old Kratos back when they want to retell this one. I hate this thing with a passion. Not the idea of them being remade. This these trailers. This is old Sony. This is PlayStation 4 Sony, where they show a logo and they go, "See you in 4 to 6 years." And
this
I
was
thought we were
the
done with this.
Ragnarok special.
I thought we were done with this. I genuinely thought we
Yeah,
were done with this. Um,
I yeah, it's one of those things where I would have settled for just a collection port of just all 5 of them, and even just the 3 of them,
hmm.
or you really only need to bring over the HD versions of 1 and 2, since you already did one for 3 a while
I
back.
mean, here's
But
the thing, right?
you
Yeah.
know,
I'm interested, right? It's like, here's the thing is, I'm sure in 2032 when this game comes out that I will play it. Like, I'll play this because it's like they've announced the trilogy. Are they going to release them in parts? Like, are they going to
I
do it
don't
in one
know.
big
It's
go?
weird. Like,
Is it a
I guess
remake where it's just like, is it a NST reignited remake where it's more of a visual overhaul and the gameplay's the same? Are they turning it into the more modern style of combat?
or,
Like, what are we
or
doing
maybe
here? This
something in
is,
between. I don't know.
yeah,
Because
this is
truthfully speaking, I don't think the
who's
more recent
making it?
ones.
Like, I know it said Sony Santa Monica at the start, but Santa Monica isn't this big. It's not big enough
Yeah,
to
it's weird,
support
isn't it?
Corey's new game, what I assume is the next mainline entry, because God help me if this is replacing the next mainline entry in the God of War series, which I don't think it will. Let me be frank. I do not think that Sony sat there and were like, yeah, let's take a 10-year break from God of War by remaking the original trilogy. I don't think that was the game plan. And I think
Give a
they'll carry
Atreus
on
enough
just
time to
fine.
grow up. Yeah.
This
But
screams
yeah,
to me like
it's
this is something that they outsource and they get help from. Maybe this is something where Blue Point can come in and use a bit of their expertise to help work on this.
yeah. Maybe this is like,
They were
oh,
working on live
that
service God of War. Maybe that's what they're.
that
Yeah,
multiplayer nonsense we had you on because we're stupid. Come over here and remake these games for us, please. I
who
would
knows?
be like, it's hard to really know until they show it again.
Mm.
And it's one of those things
In a
where I
long
think
time.
the longer you go without seeing this is like, if it the longer you go without seeing this, the more it'll be like, well, what is it gonna be? Because like, if this shows up again in like a year and a half, I could see that
Yeah.
naturally that would just be the asset overhaul. They remade it like,
Well,
the insane
the way
trilogy.
he said it, he said, they made TC Carlson basically come out and go, now this has just started development. It's very early, which to me screams for like 5 years.
Yeah.
See you in 5 years. Why are we announcing this now? God knows. But I didn't like. Is it a pleasant surprise? I guess we'll see how it goes. I really hope, like I say, this doesn't mean that we get no new God of War in the meantime. That's
Yeah, it's
my first like kind of concern. Two, I'm not gonna lie, Sony. If you were to tell me that you were going to be remaking a trilogy of video games from one of your studios right now, you know what my guess would have been? Even though it's slightly newer, Uncharted would have been my guess, because at least that IP is dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we'll do this because we've got nothing to give for Uncharted at the moment. Whereas God of War, you literally have the next installment. You've got, you know what I mean? Corey's got a spin-off or a new IP or whatever it is in the works. You should have a new God of War set out. I was thinking, we've got plenty of God of War. I can see the vision. It feels
yeah,
very weird to me to be like,
it's
yeah, let's put our remake energy into something we already know we're going to be making more of. It just kind of seems a bit bizarre.
yeah, it is funny because like last year I made the prediction that we'd see two things from God of War this year: the Metroidvania, and then also they'd announce what they were gonna do next
Well, there
along
you go.
with it. So it had happened, and even then, it's in a way that I was taken aback by, because I wasn't expecting this. I think, you know, I think maybe someone kind of chewed out something that sounded like this idea on the road to hearing the Greek Metroidvania rumors, but that's also very potentially just people saying stuff after hearing just a little bit of things, But
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one.
Because, like, truthfully, I don't think I would want them to really switch it to the 2018 Ragnarok kind of gameplay style. I don't really think the old games would be suited to that very
But
much.
I also, and
But
hear me out with
also,
this, I
like,
don't think the old gameplay style would suit this big, massive 4K, like, modern refresh either. If you got, like, this big thing that visually, like, especially when you got to remember, the Amazon series is probably going to be in its second or third season by the time that this show comes out. People are going to be accustomed to Norse God of War is just going to become, in cultural terms, it's just that is God of War. That is what it's going to be in the cultural zeitgeist, whether you like it or you don't, right? So to me, they're probably going to re-release Ragnarok and God of War 2018 on PS6 or whatever, they're going to do all that stuff. And then to have to have the Greek trilogy remade to look like the modern God of War, But then to just be not a simple hack and slash, but you know what I mean? Just to be a hack and slash, I think a lot of people are going to sit there who didn't play the originals and go, oh, this is a bit, a bit old. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, it's just
Yeah,
mashing the
no.
square button. Like, what are we doing here? It feels a bit.
The thing with it is, like, with the old games, there's still this kind of sense of spectacle to them all with like the visual upgrade. I think maybe could carry it.
I think there'll be a halfway house. I think it will be I don't think it'll be the old combat. I think it won't be the new either. I think it'll
I
be
could
some
see
kind
it
of
maybe being
modernization
like
of it.
So like an over the shoulder camera, not as close to you as with 28, like pulled back, almost like more like a Devil May Cry or Bayonetta kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could imagine.
Who knows? We've had about probably as equal time thinking about it as they have so far. So
yeah,
who knows? But yeah, I think overall, I think an excellent state of play. I wish Sony would stop doing this. I also wish like. Where are the games? Where are, like say, I would have rather than a JPEG, would have much rather have preferred to have heard. I know we're hearing about it in the summer, but hearing about Corey's game, I would have loved to have heard, about what's happening at Bend, what's happening at Media Molecule, what's happening at, at Bluepoint,
dude.
what's happening at all of these other developers that they have.
The day I see another trailer for a Sony Bend game will be the day I breathe just a slight sigh of relief. I'm like, oh,
they made it.
They got a little
game.
longer.
Oh,
good for you guys.
Until you realize they've gone to the Uncharted mines again. They've been forced down there for the 5th time.
Dude, at this rate, at least they'd be allowed to finish a project, I think, is how I'm feeling. Because, like,
I'm telling you, we're getting to that point because it's like, it's 10 years since Uncharted 4 this year, which is mental to think about. But it's like Arkham Knight, when you had too much of a good thing, and now you're getting to that point where it's like, if they did, if it did come to light that it was Ben was working on like a Cassie Drake kind of Uncharted successor thing, I'd kind of be back into it, because then it'd be like 2 or 3 years, 2028, 2029. I could be down for some Uncharted by then. The burnout. I don't think anyone foresaw this. Everyone was like, oh, we're getting so burnt out of these games, not to think that, games are going to have half a decade to a decade development cycles in the future anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
Wild. Anyway, no Final Fantasy, no Kingdom Hearts. I don't know why people are expecting
Final Fantasy
that.
is so clearly the end of the summer show.
Yeah, it's the end of the Summer Game Fest. I saw so many people who, again, and I shouldn't listen to them. And it's like, this is why social media, especially in the past like 4 years, has gotten absolutely abysmal. But a lot of people are going, oh, look, you see, this proves that the Sony Square relationship is over because Final Fantasy wasn't here. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. I'm just like,
Square's been
obviously,
pretty forward about wanting to put their stuff on more things. Even though it feels like sometimes they're not actually practicing that.
Guys, let's do a little bit of math here. Where would you put the reveal for the final part of Final Fantasy VII, of the Final Fantasy VII trilogy? Would you put it in a February state of play, 2 weeks after you've just announced that Rebirth is coming to Switch and Xbox in June, on June the 3rd? Or would you wait for Summer Game Fest 2026, which happens on June the 5th, or it's like 2 days afterwards, after the release of the big game, where you can then start hyping it up now that it's available everywhere? And I'm like, let's think about it real quick. Oh yeah, of course I'm going to wait. Why anybody thought it would be here? I'm like, you're all flipping insane.
Stupid.
And it doesn't mean anything that it's like, oh, the Sony relationship's bad. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be an exclusive. They'll still show up at State of Play. It's like how, you're not seeing Capcom here, the Resident Evil kind of partnership, because Sony was interlocked with Resident Evil 4 and 8. It's like there was a lot of marketing was basically locked for them, and it's not with Requiem, but it's still showing up. Like, it's just what's best for both of them at this point, and currently it's not time to show part 3.
PlayStation wouldn't really care that Capcom is showing Resident Evil at Nintendo's things because most people are going to play it on PlayStation anyway.
And listen, it's like, again, it's like, rising tide lifts all boats. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter where at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether part 3 is shown, because it's going to sell well on PlayStation, it's going to sell well on Nintendo, it's going to sell well on PC. It doesn't really matter to Square. It's when does it make the most sense to start this marketing budget? And it's probably right after we finish marketing Rebirth for Switch and Xbox. That's probably the best time.
And, probably, 6 or so months before the launch of the game.
Yeah, June to January is a pretty good timescale. February to January seems a bit flipping insane to me. Like, yeah, sit on that for 11 months, you weirdos. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Give me a little break first, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's like when Nintendo was like, Tomodachi Life, living the dream, see you in a year and a bit. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Rhythm Heaven, see you in a year and a half. Why? What are we doing here, Nintendo?
Yeah.
Rhythm Heaven's a game you announce and then release 2 months later, not announce and then release a year and a half later. I'm like, this is just dumb. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
But no.
And as for Kingdom Hearts 4, that game's a psyop.
True. I think Kingdom Hearts fans just need to learn to accept their fate, really. I have just accepted that I'm going to be in my 30s by the time I play Kingdom Hearts 4, which is, is quite sad considering I was like, 21 when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out?
Would have been, yeah.
Yeah. But, you just gotta take those, you gotta take the L at that point, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta take the L. You're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you've already taken the L in the first place.
No, that's very true.
Anyway.
It's funny, though, because, naturally they exist. There's evidence of them on the internet everywhere.
What, Kingdom Hearts fans?
Existing. Kingdom Hearts fans in their 30s. Like, it sounds like something that doesn't... It's like people born in 2005. It doesn't sound real, but...
I mean, this is... What you gotta realize is, right, being born when we were, 97, 98, 99, we're probably, let's be real here, unless someone coerced you in to it, we're, the youngest Kingdom Hearts fans, legitimate, from when it came out, because it was, 2002, right? Yeah. It's, reasonably, us, early Zoomers are the last people who should be have brought up on it naturally, right? It's even me. I didn't know about Kingdom Hearts until I found some sickos like Kyle. They were like, "Oh yeah, you should play this." I'm like, I guess I like Disney enough. I'll give it a go. But you know what I mean? It's there's no such thing as there's no teenagers that are like, "Oh, I can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 4." Maybe a couple if they got dragged in on Kingdom Hearts 3 at 8 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, people who played Kingdom Hearts 3 when they were 10 years old, just think about that for a second, guys. They are 17. Think about that real quick. Yikes indeed. Anyway, you're feeling old. Hit that subscribe button. Link's on screen right now. You can go and follow us on socials if you want to keep up to date with what we do outside of the podcast. Yeah. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting one step closer to Requiem. So yeah, we're just gonna keep on pushing. We're getting there, Hunter. Yeah. We're getting there. Video games will commence once again.
The video games will commence. Yeah, Resident Evil got a month gap, and then we get
March is starting to look pretty. March is looking very stacked right now. I'm just sitting there and
we get graced with the presence of Life is Strange.
Didn't even think about that one. I was just sitting there going, "Oh, there's a lot of stuff there for March." I'm like, "Oh, I've got to replay Double Exposure." Pray for me, ladies and gentlemen. Pray for me. Anyway, we'll leave it there, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Toodaloo.